We are also involved in two tourism green developments. One five-star boutique hotel in the heights of Soufrière, which, as he mentioned earlier, and one villa resort in La Plaine along the Tabaré River. Both projects are as green as possible and use solar energy, water catchments, composting, waste management, among others. I think we can be called green investors. I have known myself Dominica for the past 15 years as a pilot, regularly flying from Guadeloupe, tourist into this nature island. And I accepted my partner's offer to move to Dominica with my family and live there full-time. And I enjoy it every day. I'm very proud of having been invited to participate to this Reunion 2008 Development Conference. And I'm very proud to join the country now to continue the journey. The topic of what was asked today is to say whether green investment is the new growth paradigm. That is a big responsibility. First of all, I would not think there is one paradigm for growth or well-being. Probably not. This model or this goal when applied to growth is undoubtedly multiple, except for some cases where a single activity can prevail and give enough growth on its own. I think that it's generally the conjunction and addition of various phenomena. Even if it would not be a paradigm in green, this green investment is still good. So the question is, would green investments be sufficient to increase growth significantly? And I tried to focus my presentation on growth, not on green. And so my reply is no. And it can be surprising, but not if considered alone. I do not think that green investment at the level of an individual, at the level of a corporation, can be strong enough to bring growth to a country, even a small country. However, I would say yes if we consider it at the level of the country itself, deciding to become green and let it be known, communicate on it. Today, communication is very important, and if a country becomes known and proves to be a green-oriented country, yes, I think this can seriously and positively affect the growth. When you come by boat or when you come by air to Dominica, the first thing you see is the color green. There is no doubt about that. And I am agreeing with what was said before, which means that might not be enough. Everyone wants to talk about green, everyone wants to be green. You hear countries willing to be green, cities willing to be green, large corporations willing to be green, individual, known, famous people. Everyone wants to be green. But green is not only a color, green is a state of mind, green is a way of life, green is a goal, green can be a nation's goal. I think that if a country such as Dominica, who already have a lot of green assets, would want to go full stream green and would will to let it be known all over the planet, it would act as a lighthouse. It would be seen and recognized all over the world by the international community. It would attract in great numbers, I think, green-minded tourists, green-minded investors, green-minded journalists. And the more you talk about it, the more you attract people. But in order to talk about it, I think you must, when I say you, I I want to try to avoid to say government, because for me green is not political. Green is above politics. And so I think some clear messages must be thrown, must be said, so that there is no doubt the whole country wants to go the green way. I heard something I liked very much from Jose and from the other gentleman, was to say that if we were leaving Dominica as it is, it would already be preserving the environment, and that is true, I think. I'm not going to spend too much time in trying to give some ideas on how to become a green country. I think it was very well done before, and again, maybe more interaction would be interesting. I think I don't see any need to go on to that. Most have been said. I would just like to add one thing. If I can have a dream, is to see one day less, and then no more plastic bags. It's such an idea. I hear sometimes a sentence in this country which I fell in love with, which is so simple you are even surprised to hear it and be marked by it, but I love it. I love the concept of eating what you grow and growing what you eat. What was done this time was the Ministry of Ecology that had power to say, I think many people will be against me now, but to say, no, maybe you cannot afford to consider a refinery in such a country as Dominica. I'm speaking on my own. I would like to conclude in saying that the island of Dominica is greener than any other island in the Caribbean. There is no doubt about it. And most probably this should be enough to consider why it is so important to favor, to do everything possible to go further green, to attract green markets, to attract green investors, to attract green tourists, just because all the bases needed are already there. But I would like to finish in saying that the biggest asset of Dominica, the one that will make it possible for this country to perfectly move in the century, is its people. People of Dominica are something different than the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Together is really key. There's no excuse. There are enough documents. You go to certain rooms in the Ministry of Finance and Planning, and you'll see all the reports there. They have been there. You know, some of us have been part of generating them for decades. The point is, it requires a decision on the part of the country, the people, as well as their government, to move forward in a particular direction. Which means you have to reward certain kinds of behavior, and you have to punish. And I make no apologies for calling certain industries dirty, because dirty they are, dirty they need to be called. The world scientifically has documented it. We still want to argue about climate change, it's up to us. But the fact of the matter is, where is the decision-making point? We are here. Also hints that we are already green. Are we? Are we green when we have nice forests and garbage? Are we green when we have nice reefs and yet, soil erosion? So can we task ourselves with this extra burden of making it really happen? Is there money to do that? This is the Cotonou Agreement, signed in 2000, it's over. But there were billions of euros set aside over the last 7 years that we could have utilized to do these things. It's all here, Annex 1, the Financial Protocol of Cotonou, delineating not just the amounts of money available in billions, but the procedures for accessing those. the eligibility of institutions, private sector, NGOs. And the question though is, where are our bankers in this room? Where is the financial services sector? We're not at ground zero anymore. We're not at the starting gates. When it is possible for investments in Dominica to be placed under the gun by financial institutions and yet to achieve global recognition, Jungle Bay going to be awarded next month by Mr. Bronson of Virgin Atlantic, who has bought a Caribbean island to do what we are talking about doing. Of course, he has the money. He's going to make it a living example of a green island. Is it sustainable? Probably not. How many Bronsons do you have? But all together, we are much more wealthy than Mr. Bronson. So the question is, how does one marshal community development? I look at Sam Carrot and the experiences. Swinburne Lestrade, his regional experience, and make it possible. Here's what it says. When wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, all is lost. There's some very interesting lessons there for us, because it requires that fortitude of character and determination among all of us for us to get to the point of staying healthy and thereby have the possibility of creating wealth. Thank you so much for being here. We all enjoyed this panel, I'm sure.